just love, like, that's just gonna be a part of my heart.
It is 2:45 in the morning and I'm gonna start watching Heated Rivalry. Got a lot with just a few things.
If it's purple, someone's gonna die. I think about this park because every time I come, hi, and there is always a dog. Ever since then, it's been magical. So,
Can I tell you how much more settled my brain feels now that I've taken the 5 minutes to switch those out? I knew that I had more colorful shoes and I'm just already in that spring mindset. Also, welcome to the vlog this week. But that just, it makes me so much happier. I needed to switch the background out. It was going to switch out regardless, but it's been a while since I've seen some of these shoes and I just feel a lot more excited now because every time I'm looking at these dark colors when I come to my closet, because that's where my eye naturally gravitates towards, it doesn't make me excited about picking out my outfits every day. But like this color palette right here feels like the seasonal color palette for me. We have the pinks, we have the purples, we have the greens. I did not wear these shoes last year, which says a lot about my mental mindset, and I am so excited to finally get these up to wear them out. They're from Amazon. I will link them down below, but so happy. Instant dopamine impact.
good morning. Do you need to come up? Come up.
I have been feeling the weight of unnecessary stress recently. Like I have just not been having any fun. And it is one of those things that I definitely can do a lot better with. So instead of trying to fall asleep right now or forcing myself to fall asleep right now or spending an hour being miserable in my thoughts about just how, like, where I'm stuck with, like, I'm trying to get myself out of that, like, mental block, I decided to do the opposite of that. Something that I actually never do and wouldn't normally do, but it is 2:45 in the morning. This is way past the bedtime routine that I want to be on right now, and I have just made a bowl of popcorn and I'm gonna start watching Heated Rivalry. And honestly, doing something like this is probably the key to getting out of the rut that we're all stuck in occasionally. Giving myself an excuse to just have fun and to not feel like everything has to be so serious anymore is hopefully gonna be the breakthrough that I need. Can you see the blushing that's going on right now? So we've reached the part of my morning routine where I recently made this change, and honestly, it's kind of been about everything else that's going on in my life in this season. There has been a lot of just in my head kind of quietly feeling like I don't have time. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. It feels like I'm just taking care of myself in the worst possible way mentally. And so of course we're going to do something about that today, but something that I've started to reintegrate has been this morning routine with my skincare. And it's not anything miraculous. I've added back in like my morning facial massage and gua sha and all of those things because it's just something in my day where it isn't meant to give me some kind of, I don't know, immediate goal. Like, yes, I'm gonna see a before and after, and if I can remember how to do masking in Premiere when I'm editing this, I will show you. I feel like a lot of time there's a lot of self-care can come with, especially when you're like thinking about mental health, can come with the tougher part of it, whether or not that's like journaling and acknowledging your emotions and like moving yourself through the heavy and deep stuff. But this form of self-care is really almost luxurious for me. Like I kind of dabble back in doing face masks more recently. Like I've used the Maybelline Storm Honey Mud mask a couple of times, which this is very luxurious, and it just happens to be what I had on hand because I got a PR package from them years ago. Such a blessing. Not necessarily what you guys need, but it is a really nice face mask. Their skincare is lovely if you are interested in that kind of luxurious, like natural beauty side of things. But I have really just been kind of trying to remind myself of those simple things where it's not so like I have to get a facial because I need these results because it has to be these things, where it just feels like self-care, where it feels like permission to slow down, where it feels like permission to give yourself that extra bit of love. So technically I'm missing 2 parts, but you know, we'll get the other one out of the freezer in a minute because we need our gua sha, we need our little massage tool. I don't know what this does other than like it mentally makes me feel like it's doing something. So we won't say that it's a necessary requirement. I bought this oil from Cliganic and I've been using them on and off for years. This was the first one that I looked for whenever I decided to do this again. Big fan. And honestly, I think these guys were one of the first PR packages that I ever got, which is crazy to say because I started the blog 10 years ago. So a little bit of that on my face, knowing that I'm going to wash it off. And this is also really great if you're somebody like me who has PCOS hair and you need to do like dermaplaning at home. I like to have a light oil that like I can massage with and that works really well. And we're gonna open the lymph nodes here. So, and I go through the process of doing all of my lymph nodes. I'm gonna take my gua sha and I'm really just gonna kind of go for it with my own I already see a little bit of a difference, but I have so much better neck movement. All right. I have this little guy. I don't know exactly what it does other than it vibrates. So I try to use it just as like a way to kind of help. It has a couple of different colors. So red for what? Anti-aging collagen. And I stopped using my red light mask because I felt like, you can see it a little less now, but I was getting these patches on the bottom of my face, like one on the side, one on the side, that looked like it was just a very interesting little pocket of pigmentation. And so I decided to take a break because I thought, I think I might be overusing it and I'm not seeing what I want to be seeing as far as like feeling like anything was different. So we have my Skinny Confidential Hot Mess Ice Roller and I keep this in the freezer. They make a travel version. This is cold, but I will say if you're somebody who feels like sometimes your eyes just need to wake up in the morning, it's not necessarily that they're puffy, although they might lightly be, but you just feel like they're extra tired. Putting something cold on top does so much. So I'm going to start gently because it's a little bit icy and of course because it just came out of the freezer. And then I put it and I run it under the sink because it had a chunk of ice on the side of it, but it gets the kind of frost off of it before I go in. But this is the other reason that I kind of do all of this first and then go back in and do my skincare, is because this with the water that I've put on it to like soften it up and then mixing it in just ends up diluting things a little bit, but it's just so for me. They have a couple of variations of these. I'll link them down below because I feel like if you're somebody who travels a lot or don't have a lot of bathroom storage, or honestly, if I had known about it before, I might have. There is like 2 different versions of this because they took this one off the market and they've redone it. There's a travel version that has like the cold on one side and then the roller balls on the other that I need to get because this is just like, if you're like, hey, you have 15 minutes to get ready this morning and that was all I was going to have, I would do this routine with my skincare over makeup every single time because it would just feel like this is the kind of meditation I want, where it's like, I don't want to sit here and control my thoughts. I don't want to try to release my thoughts. I just want to feel like I'm giving myself permission to slow down. And this does that. But like, look at that. I have so much more of a jawline now. And it is crazy how just getting back into a routine of doing this has helped with that. Now that I finished getting ready for the day, I can show you the current go-to lip combo because I feel like this is just one of those that even the people who want to have like a lip combo but you don't want anything super fussy, you also don't want to buy a lot of products, you feel like you've got a lot with just a few things. So this is the Nude Sticks Hydropeptide Lip Butter and I love her so much. It is so incredibly hydrating. It is quite like whoosh out of the thing, so be careful. You want to make sure that you're only putting a little bit on, but like it matches the blush perfectly. And this makeup looks actually a little bit stronger in person. I always tend to do it a little bit more because on camera it dilutes it down, paired with the perfect pink combo. So this is the Summer Fridays lip stain. I have been trying a few different lip stains as just something to have in my routine that makes it really easy every day because I like to know what my options are. And I ordered the peel off ones. However, none of them that I've tried so far are actually light enough for this kind of combo. Like nothing's recreating this like perfect pink that I want every single day. The only thing with this, because I do love this is really, really great. I do this last, wipe off my lips, put this on, is that you need to store it so that it is actually like pushing the product towards the tip. Otherwise, it can be easier to get like the product on your lower lip because you're putting the pen down, but when you're going to get your upper lip for the stain, it's a little bit more challenging. It's not necessarily going to last as long as the like peel off liners, but I do feel like it gives a really pretty base without it being too much, without needing to layer a lot of product on. Like, it's just really, really simple. And then on the edges on top of this, so do this first, do this all over your lip, and then on top of it I've been going in with a Morphe pencil, and this is Signature, and I just kind of go in at the edges and really give it just a bit more shadow so everything is really luxe. It feels really nice. It's not as just like pink and poppy, although that is lovely, and it also just makes everything last a little bit longer. And then we top it with this, but this paired with the She's Enough or She's Wanted, I will put it on the screen, from Patrick Ta, is like the perfect, if you're like me and you are a cool tone girl and you've got light blonde hair and you need like that baby pink kind of blush lip combo that really just makes everything pop for you. That is hands down been my signature for quite a while now, and like this is the lip combo that I've wanted to find, and it's just absolute perfection. Like, it does everything and it still feels like my lips are getting lots of hydration.
Come to the park while my video uploads, and I feel like if you work from home, maybe you learn this, but when you do so much of like your life at home, it feels like it can be really hard to relax at home because it always feels like there's something else that you should be doing at the same time. So you always feel like there's mentally a million things that your brain's trying to hold. And I bought If It's Purple, Someone's Gonna Die. I really wanted to kind of expand my film education. Not that I don't already have a pretty strong amount of it, but I think it's nice to just have some more stuff that you guys can read with me, stuff that gives me the opportunity to see new things. I am not a big fan of bugs, so being outside is an interesting life choice. And I made a little coffee for myself, and then Mom was so cute, she bought me like coconut lime vegan cookies. The one thing about this park though is every time I come, there is always a dog. It's a great experience if you love dogs. It's my favorite thing about this park, there's always a dog to meet. That's okay, she's cute. Hello. Hey.
What kind do you have?
I have a husky, and then I have a shepherd Jack Russell mix.
Oh my word.
Yeah, she looks exactly like she sounds. It's okay. Hi. I don't know what I was saying, but that was such a nice little chat. So we are gonna read this and then hopefully see. You guys have to watch Wuthering Heights video. That's what I'm gonna film the intro for next. But it is just really nice to get out of the house in a low-key way, having just the random connections with other human beings in a very low-pressure way. Even coming to the park, I swear I always meet somebody new in the neighborhood, and then I get to have a nice little chat and just have a wonderful moment of appreciating something they also love, because this park is such a wonderful feature of this neighborhood. And also that one was so fantastic to chat with. It's always good vibes when you put yourself in a position, and this is, if you're watching this video and you're kind of having one of those times where you feel like you're really struggling with what's going on mentally, and it's the crap thing that, like, when you're in the headspace where things feel like they're really, really bad, it tends to be that you keep attracting more of that. And so the shift out of that, the moment to be like intentionally like, you know what, everything I've been doing isn't working anymore, and I'm just gonna do something totally different, even if it feels like it's not allowed, even if it feels like it's unexpected. Like, you just open yourself up to, because since I started filming this video and intentionally saying that I wanted things to feel better, I have found things that I've been missing for months. I have interacted with so many nice human beings. Like, I've just felt the energy shift, and sometimes I think we feel like it's a lot more out of our control than it is, and it's a lot heavier than it is, and it feels heavy, but there is that sense of it's like out of control and we're waiting for something to change, and really it's our selves that have to like be willing to say, okay, this gets to be different now. Like this gets to exist differently now. Like it is in my head, it is in my being, it is in my power to say that this gets to be different now. And I ended up stumbling on a couple of videos yesterday. I think that really helped me solidify that like I could declare that kind of just in the universe's name, that I was ready for that change. And ever since then, it's been magical. So gonna film my other little clips really quickly, and then we're gonna read, and hopefully my video will be uploaded by now. Happy Saturday, guys. I don't think I've used this setup to film before, so let me know how I feel about it. But I am having one of those days where I could just stay in my brain, or I could try to do something to get myself out of the house, because I am trying to do a better job at just letting myself step away. And I couldn't decide if I wanted to do one of two things. If I wanted to do a long walk today and go to the antique store that I love downtown and kind of do some exploration in that area. And I feel like I've done such a great job at getting my steps in over the last week that I could do that, but I also could like get in the car and go to a different antique store, which I'm not in the mood to buy anything, but do feel like it's fun to see. It's also just fun to be really curious. Most of the content that I watch when I am not consuming any kind of film or television content is a lot of vlogs for people who own chateaus in France or who live in France. And it's just interesting to see what ends up in their version of like a Goodwill and all of the things that they're really passionate about. And I think it's given me such a deeper appreciation for the artistry with porcelain and everything else. And so it's nice to go look around, especially when I'm not traveling as much as I would like to right now. It kind of feels a little bit like I'm getting that exploration and I'm getting those pieces of history without having to go as far from my house. But this morning, I don't even know that we can say I caught up on Doc. I watched the season finale of Doc, and it's part of why I wanted to pick up my camera, because we haven't had this conversation before. It's been in little chats, and I'd be curious to know your thoughts and feelings on this. Crazy to me to think that like I kind of started creating more TV and film content, partly because I ended up doing a sponsorship with Fox to promote Doc when it came out last fall for season 2. And I ended up absolutely loving the show, absolutely being obsessed with it, having such a good time with watching the show and just learning about it, and having so much admiration for just the people who are creating it and the writing of the show. This is one of those shows where you can tell that the character development is based on people who are also focused on like the emotional character development. Like these people go to therapy, and it shows in how they write the character development for the show. And I really appreciate that about it. There are layered shots within the show that do the things that I love for TV to do, where it's like we're showing you visually like what's happening in the dynamics of this relationship. There is a shot set up from season 1 that has been living in my brain rent-free ever since I watched it. It's such a good show. I feel like it does such a good job. It's showing like male vulnerability and emotional awareness. It's just so many wonderful things about it. However, in saying all of these things, I've actually stopped watching it. And it's made me more aware of just what it takes for me to want to watch a show week to week. And I think that this is such an interesting kind of topic, because we've gone from a time where it was like, okay, in the past where you had limited amount to watch and you would just watch week to week and it would be fine, and you'd just be down to do whatever with it. Like it wasn't a big deal for you because we didn't have as many choices to watch. And now that I am an adult who is slightly more emotionally intelligent and slightly more aware of what it means for me to be like emotionally regulated, I'm really conscious about what I'm consuming. I found with TV and with any kind of content that is consistent, I'm constantly looking at like, what is this teaching me? What is this giving my brain as like a normalization for this? And do I really find that this feels like supportive content? It's something I think makes me want to watch more YouTube than it does television sometimes, because I get to normalize like healthy dynamics in a relationship. I get to see less of the constant chaos and drama of pushing people away just to have a storyline and a plot line. And obviously Doc has done a lot in these first 2 seasons with anything and everything to do with Amy, Michael, and Jake. And
I just love Jake. That's just gonna be a part of my heart. I feel like I could have maybe got myself to watch a little bit more, but I just was really over, and I think this is something that will take me out of a show, and it take me out of a show pretty consistently, is what feels like a toxic or always like constant dramatic workplace environment. I was talking to my friend about it the other day, and she was like, so that's definitely a no for Grey's Anatomy. And I was like, yeah, pretty much. I watched it when it first aired, and then at some point, I'm not the kind of person who wants to spend all of my time around those kind of people. And I get to a degree that like certain jobs do require, you know, you just kind of have to suck it up and deal with it. But I think that there are a lot of jobs where people recognize that like it's either a privilege to do it, or there's a level of respect that people find a way to kind of bring into it. And that's just, it tends to be something for me where I'm not going to watch that week to week. It's why I stopped watching High Potential. It's why I stopped watching Doc for a while, because I just didn't want to deal with it. And the other thing that I didn't want to deal with is the will or won't they of it. That for me, it used to be something that I could be like fully involved with, and now I'm just exhausted by it. And that what I think came up for me, and I'm curious to know if you guys reflect on it, how you feel about it, is that it obviously tends to be something where like that kind of just level of chaos and level of like back and forthness actually conflicts with my own strongest values. So like loyalty is a really strong value for me, that kind of consistency in relationships and friendships. And so these shows that lean heavily into that as kind of what they do to move their story forward, or just what tends to be their stronger point of their storytelling, is something that like I can get into temporarily, and then at some point I'm going to tap out of it. Like I'm no longer going to be interested. I recently got into FBI for the first time, and I think that watching Doc today and then thinking about how much I've been like kind of enjoying watching FBI is that I kind of appreciate that we're not in that will they won't they dynamic. Like we're constantly seeing them grow. We're constantly seeing these different elements of all of these people who've had different upbringings, but it's still not a lot of workplace drama, not a lot of just that necessary tension and chaos as a standard in life. And it suits me and what I want to believe and how I want to live a lot better. And so I just naturally and inherently find myself not being able to stick with shows that don't align with my like life's values and how I want to expect things to go in life. Thoughts, feelings, do you guys know, like if you sat down and look at your shows that you're watching right now, how does that match for you? Do you feel like you have a lot of drama in your life and you watch a lot of drama? Do you feel like you grew up with a lot of drama and now you watch a lot of drama because you're so used to it? Like, I'd be so curious. Obviously this is like therapy and the internet, you don't have to tell me, but it's something that I was thinking about this morning, and it becomes one of those things where like I think so heavily gifted so much self-reflection from the art that we consume and how we feel about it, what it triggers in us, what we find is really comfortable for us, what we find we're really struggling with. It is the greatest form of like self-conversation that we can have if we're willing to be honest. And so I find that this happens consistently with me, where I like get really hooked into a movie because there's something that I'm working out within myself. There's something where I like trying to find permission. And if you watch TV in that way, which just tends to be like one side of what I talk about on this channel, either that or I'm really talking about kind of the story and the structure and the emotional connectivity of the audience and like world building and that aspect of it. We talk a lot about the more analytical side of it, and not just I did like that they did this and I don't like that they did that. I try to kind of break it down so that you can make more educated decisions when it comes to what you're watching. You can learn and understand better what you like in a show, but also you can start to see the seams and the quality, and you become so much more appreciative of it. But when it comes to kind of looking at the content that you go to watch and what you feel like you're gravitating towards, when you stop to give yourself that space to process, you become so much more aware of just who you are, and like it's a different level of self-care, and it's something that I deeply appreciate about it. So this definitely isn't going to be the outfit today, but this is what I mean when I tell you guys to just play. Like, come into your closet, throw things on, layer things. This needs to be steamed. This skirt has been in my wardrobe for ages, and it has these little shorts in it, and
it's definitely like a good nighttime outfit. I do feel like I've been not necessarily struggling, I just haven't really taken the time or the opportunity to play when I'm getting dressed. And so knowing how I wanted to wear this scarf has been a little bit of just a back of my head, like trying to solve it kind of thing. Not quite giving what I wanted to give, although I have to say, like, if you threw some white heels on with this and then you added a bag to kind of tie it all in, because a lot of times what happens is you put together an outfit and you think it doesn't work, but it's because you haven't found the piece that gives it cohesion. So even if I just like threw on these white heels, let's do it really quickly, I might end up gaslighting myself into thinking this is an outfit that I would want to wear. I don't know that I want to be this extra going to the antique store today, but when else am I gonna do it? And then you throw on a bag like this and it's just suddenly like a whole thing. It's a whole moment. All right, outfit is done, dusted, sorted, and I love her. Shoes and bag are from Target. These are a few years old, and I think they are a dupe for a Dior version that Steve Madden might also make. I will find you a link and put it in the description box below, because it was one of those styles that I didn't really find the right opportunity or feel like it really fit in my wardrobe, and then this summer it's been perfect. I love it. This was the bag that I got as a replacement for the Bottega dupe that I've been wearing for years, because I just wanted something now that would fill this hole. I love having a pouch bag like this because I can just throw everything inside of it. It holds so much. It's so easy for on the go. Glasses are from Amazon. The Rudy shirt that I just had on, like I said, I love that I can tie it up front so you still get my waistline, but then it's got enough of this chunk on the backside that it doesn't have to be tucked in. Jeans are a few years old from Abercrombie. We have Amazon, 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 all of the links down below. Let's go look at antiques though. Every time I think that I'm gonna wind myself down, I find a new flipping corner. So we've been swapping through cameras today, so I'm not 100% sure if this is going to work the best for when I go to edit this video, but I thought I'd do a little antique store haul really quickly for you. Also, I'm really sorry if you can hear the fan in the other room, it's kind of loud. I have this kind of soft rule that if there's anything I see when I'm out and about shopping that I don't think one of my friends will find on their own, but I think they would love it, and it's under $10, I try to snag it for them. And I recognized when I saw these that they might actually end up stolen by mom, but we'll see how that goes. And it's the American Furniture Volume 1 and Volume 2. I saw Volume 3. The furniture in Volume 3 was ugly. We skipped her. And it's kind of just got all of the things in it. My best friend's bonus mom likes to restore furniture, and some of the pieces that she's been working with look similar to stuff in here, but it's also interesting because I always assumed some of these styles were more Parisian, and I didn't realize the point in which it becomes kind of more American. So even it might be one of those things where it kind of circulates between all of our libraries. I know that if you guys see like some of the furniture in my room, it is definitely American antique. It was not chosen by me. There's not a lot that you guys see that's actually like I got to design it and it was like my choice for it, and you're really getting my taste. You get like snippets of my taste when it comes to clothes and TV, but furniture wise, because this is something that I ended up with when I was like 16, you haven't quite seen what my decor style is when I actually have the space for it. So keep that in mind, by the way. This is just honestly quite fascinating to see all of the different details, all of the different like pieces that go in here. Also to kind of see the style in one place. I really didn't recognize or had no context because I don't really watch anything with a lot of American history that what the styles are when they came into America versus stuff that might have been imported, and kind of the balance of those two things. So I'm curious about that. But these were each $6, so a great find for today.